Because I always cut it out.
I know.
I'm Jake Schriner.
I'm Bob Nelson.
I'm Tracey White.
I didn't realize we had started. And I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie. And this is the Compass Conversation podcast. We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
Well, whenever you say...
I just started rolling because last time...
So I did. I was like...
all the pre-roll, all the conversation
Oh my
before was going to be right. Anyway, that's yeah. I meant to start recording before we start the podcast.
Okay.
But here we are. We started. You were right in the middle. Well, okay. Well, let's get started then. Speaking of, I'm going to start right over here with Jake. Jake, how are you doing tonight?
Keeping us on our toes. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm frustrated with work, so I'm not going to talk about any of that. But today was Harper's first day of preschool, and that went really well. She was all smiles when she got home today.
Yay!
So
Good.
I'm very glad. She's excited to go back tomorrow, which is probably the best case scenario you can hope for, because it'd be really tough if she was complaining about it, and then I'd have to look at her and be like, "Hey kid, it's going to be 14 years of this, or more if you decide to go to higher education." Yeah. No, it was great. We dropped her off about 8 o'clock this morning. Colette and I both went, and big props to Colette because she kept it together until we got back in.
That's better than the kindergartner parents. It was fantastic.
So, she has a very nice teacher named Miss Jada. I think there's like 15 or 16 kids in her class. Sounds like it's pretty evenly split, but it's nice. They have a parent portal, so so parents can like see pictures that are posted throughout the day of the classrooms, and you can see your kids playing and having fun. And
awesome.
And the teacher said Harper was very smart, so that's makes us feel good.
Yeah.
And then yesterday after church, I was on my feet until about 9 o'clock last night because I was canning and pickling and dehydrating onions, and then we went to the mall too to pick out some clothes for Harper's first day and try and find some shoes. Although they don't have really any kids' shoe stores at Park Meadows Mall. But other than that, no, it went well. But yeah, I got five jars of pickles in the fridge, and then I made it's called zucchini pineapple. So it's like a mock pineapple. You take zucchini and you peel it and you scoop the seeds out.
It's like a cool hoax.
Yeah, and then you chop it up into small pineapple-sized bites, and then you boil it with pineapple juice, lemon juice, and sugar for about 20 minutes, and then you jar it and can it.
Oh man,
yeah.
That sounds good.
So, and then it's after a couple weeks on the shelf, so it can kind of like pickle, I guess, or whatever. But supposedly, and I haven't tried any yet, but supposedly it tastes and has a similar texture to pineapple. So I'll be bringing 5 jars of that to our kickoff. Yeah,
excellent.
The pickles will be ready by the fall kickoff too. Wow. And then a lot of the onions that are getting softer, I chopped up and threw in the dehydrator so that we can have like onion flakes and things like that to try and save as much of it as possible, because the outer layers that are mush are just gone, but the insides are still good. And if you don't do something with them soon, the whole onion goes bad. So that's what I did for 9 hours yesterday.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I sat down and, similar to you before the camera turned on.
Yeah, I love all these things that you're doing. It just makes me think, you know what, like 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, Jake, I'm going to have to come visit you at the Back 40 Ranch and your big farm. And
that's the plan. I'll have a metalworking shop in one area, and my big homestead farm in another, and a bunch of signs that say "Keep out."
unless you're interested in hearing about Jesus.
That's right. Absolutely. People wearing Compass shirts will get to walk right on.
No trespassing unless you want to talk about Jesus.
Compass Church. That's funny. All right. Well, awesome, man. That's exciting. I always love hearing about that stuff. It's very good. All right, going to go to your right, Bob.
Yep. Doing pretty good. My dad had one more procedure for trying to deal with a gallbladder issue that he had last year. that's caused a year's worth of problems. But there's progress, I guess. They took out 4 stents and only put 2 back in. So for his bile duct, he's got the scar tissue because of the gallbladder that was very diseased. When after they took it out, it's kind of collapsed one of the bile ducts, and that's what's caused all the problems. And they've been trying to fix that for a year now. So but no, he's in good spirits, the best he can. Hopefully next time's the last time. So we're just it's a not too invasive procedure, but they got to put him completely under to do it. So no cuts or anything on that.
Well, that's good.
And we had a fun weekend with my nephew came to stay with us for the weekend, give his my sister-in-law a bit of break, and we had a good time. He beat the snot out of me at Castle Risk, and I beat the snot out of him, so it worked out well. So I had a great time with him. Went swimming. He very much enjoyed the service yesterday.
Oh,
so,
good.
Good. Yeah, I liked it.
It was very funny.
Yeah.
Correct me.
He's a goofball, and I'm one of his 2 favorite uncles because I like the other one and funny. So
Good.
Doing well.
Well, awesome. And we're glad you made it back for the podcast.
Yes.
So
Traffic did not hold me up.
MIA too many times.
Yes.
So. All right, very good. Across the pond and the table and the water bottles. Tracey, how are you?
Good. Tired.
Yeah.
It was a Monday, just like any other Monday, which is always. Kathy doesn't have any kids right now to watch, so it's. It's good news that that Harper really enjoyed the first day, but something deep down is like thinking, I really wish that she'd be like, no, I want to go back to Kathy.
You should have heard her last night.
Was she having a hard time?
She looked at me. Like maybe 30 minutes before bedtime, we had a movie on, and sitting on the couch, and she goes, "Daddy, I don't want to go to school tomorrow. I want to go to Kathy's instead." And I was like, "I'm sorry, kiddo. You got
that." It's good though. That's the natural progress for our littles. But no, we love Harper to death. She's part of our family, So we're real proud of her. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chris. I think she had some sadness going on even Sunday morning. That's what Leanna was saying. She seemed like she was kind of bummed out because Kathy was back there helping as well.
You know what though? Whenever you get another, 15, 16 kids, that are your age, and they're all
big changes.
Getting along and playing and all that. It definitely changes. So, Kathy got. Going on a project out here and back and stirred up a wasp's nest and got stung 3 times. Yeah, so that wasn't pleasant. And it was kind of funny because I was in my morning meeting on Teams in here and just heard her freaking out through the door because it's right outside the door here, right? And I don't mean to laugh because I was like, I gotta go. I went and checked on her. But no, she's fine.
Is she gonna be all swollen when she comes back to band practice?
No.
I was gonna say, is she gonna be here?
She's fine. She treated it. There's just a couple of spots on her leg. So if she's wearing shorts, you might see it, but it's not bad. She treated it right away, and he's doing just fine. And outside of that, we got hooked on a new game this weekend.
Game.
Yeah, it's a cozy MMO, and it's just very casual and laid back.
Very
just
nice.
Something to, if you have an extra, however long you have. Yesterday it was a few hours, but today it was a few minutes. So there's a difference, but and then Josh is job hunting.
Job hunting, very good.
Good.
It was the moment of comedy last week where he said he has to get a job. So today, what we did, we were like, "You got a job? No."
I told him you really need to put in some applications. He put in one, and he said that's enough for today. Okay, well it's a start, but you got a lot to learn.
You got a lot to learn.
But that's about it. Johnny, how about you? How was your day?
Today was a long day for sure. Most Mondays are, and kindergartners came back into the school today. So last week there were kids, that the Kinders arrived. Oh, thanks for doing that.
I just thought of that. Sorry.
Because that whole first part's going to sound really bad.
It's okay.
So everything you guys said, no one will really hear. Let's do that again.
It'll be okay.
Jake, glad you're here tonight. Sorry for that hiss up till now.
know what made me
there should be a little
think
checklist. I'm glad you did. I didn't think about it either.
Well, the thought came through my head real quick that oh man, that cool air blowing
cool
around
air.
feels good. Oh, cool air.
We should have like a big cue card right under the keyboard where you can't see it. It's just,
Man.
you
Turn off
know,
this. Turn off
you have
this.
right microphone on. You know.
Mic is on.
Mic is on.
Air is off.
I feel a little bit off too because when I close the door, don't forget to turn off the AC. Ran through my head.
Because we snuck the record in there, so sorry.
It's all right, man. No, everything's fine. No big deal. But anyway, what was I saying? Kindergartners came back. That's a whole different animal, and they were fine. The reason it affects me at all is because that I spend a lot of my, I was going to say my duty day, which is fun to say. Part of my duty. Part of my duty. Oh, for love. Anyway, is in the cafeteria, right? So I'm maintaining and control in there. So yeah, so there's a difference. So that was a little extra stuff. Today kind of a blur, just kind of tired. I'm not sure what it is. Something over the weekend, and I know that we had a big weekend, right, Friday. But I was feeling it on Saturday. I was feeling it on Sunday. I think it came across a little bit. I've just been bone weary, mind weary. But anyhow, all that said,
It did make for some amusing moments. During
no, we'll get into that in a second. But anyway, so after school today, I had a physical, went in for a checkup, my annual deal. And that's one of those things, it's kind of funny, if you don't decide you're going to do that, you just won't.
Yeah.
But it's really important, particularly you start getting really, really old like I am.
Ancient.
93, wasn't it?
Ancient of days. So that was pretty good, but I'm on the right track, but everything seems to be fine. We'll do some more work. But yeah, what's funny about that is I came right home from the physical, looked at the clock, looked at my watch, thought I got time, and did my run today. So I did the run, and then I got back and was like, oh, this is a lot later than I'm usually leaving. All right, let's skip Starbucks tonight, jumping in the shower for you guys. So I don't smell as bad.
And for you.
And for you at home, because you probably would have smelled even smell-o-vision is what we're using. But here's what's funny. While I was getting ready to be called in for this physical, I'm sitting here, several chairs over, one other guy over here, and I'm just waiting for him to call the name. So the door opens up, I'm still looking in. And the nurse comes out and she goes, okay, Johnny. And both of us stand up. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I guess I need Johnny Leckie. That's me. And I turned and went, nice to meet you, Johnny. And then as I walked in, it's like, you got to be Wade first thing. So I'm trying to be funny now, right? Because we're all laughing. So, well, let me take all this heavy stuff out of my pockets. So I took my phone out, but I had been sitting like this and I had Facebook open. And I was on a friend's page, and I was just scrolling, right? So it was a friend's page. Well, anyway, they called my name. All that hilarity stopped. I just put it in my pocket. So when I came in and tried to be funny again, here, let me take this heavy stuff out. My finger hit one of the comments under my friend's post, which took me to their page, which had a picture of this beautiful baby. And so as I'm sitting right next to it, oh, what a cute baby. I went, that is a cute baby. I've never seen that baby before in my life. That's awesome. So it all got off to a crazy start because then I had to have my blood pressure taken, and of course it was higher than it should have been. But anyway. So anyway, that's sort of how I'm doing anyway for today.
Cool.
All right, well, let's talk about all the crazy. Cray-cray is a stupid word because it's no extra syllables, no less syllables than crazy. Why say cray-cray? I don't know why I said cray-cray.
Because it's cool.
It's not cool. Trust me.
No, it's not.
It is not cool.
The kids think it's really
No, they don't.
hip.
No, they do not.
It's lit.
What was the thing I heard that we watched the second Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, and he says to his mom when she says something like that, "No one at my age ever strings those words together."
So is that the movie you went to the theater to see? What did you see?
Yeah, Spider-Man. It was a great movie. You like the first one, you'll like the second one. Cool. So,
excellent.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Enjoyed the heck out of it.
Nice.
All right, I was going to say one other thing before we move on, and this is something that you made me think of, Jake, when you were talking about Harper at preschool.
Yes.
And again, we always like to talk about what ifs and possibilities, behind the scenes kind of things on the podcast. You got to get extra stuff for watching the podcast, right? So I've always thought that it would be fantastic for us to have an app and a camera of some kind, or utilize one that for every time when kids go back into their area, that parents are given either the app or something that any time in the service they can look and there's their kid. It's just a live video feed of what's happening. So I like that. I'm sure the technology is there. I'm sure the app is there. I'm sure all that is available.
Sure.
Somewhere.
But that needs to happen. I think it needs to happen. It's one of those simple things I think that would just bring a lot of confidence, and it would also help us in our screening for people helping. Because if you're a weirdo, the weirdos do get into churches because we need people to help. And, it would be good to know, hey, yeah, that's right. So you're going to be helping back here. And, of course, we have the camera going the whole time, just so you know. Right? All right.
You can do that with little nanny cams or like baby monitors, but it's with the camera, and put one in there and just have it sitting on the media table.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing we could do is live stream what's happening in there and give have a special link just for parents to go online and see.
Right.
Sure.
If you can get a connection at the school. Anyway, I want that to happen. Definitely want that to happen. All right. What else? Let's talk about.
So there was Friday.
Friday.
Very bad.
The makeup day for the rained out movie night.
That almost got rained out.
That almost got rained out round 2.
Ooh.
I had so many people ask me about our movie night because they were thinking about us from the school, just random people. Yeah, it's like, did you
should have answered.
Go?
If you would have shown up, you would have known. A lot of people showed, though.
They did, yes.
It was a good crowd.
There was a fair amount of people there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
It was funny, like right as the movie started, Tracey was standing there, Kathy and Harper were sitting nearby, I was sitting in my chair. And I mean, it must have been right after you hit play.
Yeah.
We all looked at each other and went, "Did you just feel a raindrop?"
Yes.
Yes, it did. I think everybody felt like 1 or 2, but then it was gone. Right. So that was a little concern right away at the beginning, like, it's coming back. We're all gun shy when we see clouds now. It's like, what we ought to do, though, is our church should find somewhere there's a drought, and that's where our next event is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll bring the rain.
That's exactly.
We'll show Rain Man. We'll show some kind of singing in the rain. We'll show some.
No, I like it.
And bring on the rain. Oh.
We'll show Water World. We'll show Noah. Have you seen that new Noah? The newer Noah
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness!
No, it's so
there are some things about it that are accurate, right? Like the rain comes down and it comes out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But the rest of it was kind of stupid.
So
there's pirates in it.
Yes, exactly. In my head, I divorced it from the Bible to watch it. And it was entertaining that way. That was the only way it was entertaining.
Oh my goodness!
All right. Well, this is a random tangent.
Yeah,
we were talking about rain.
That.
We were talking about But I did, and I mentioned this yesterday. But my favorite part was honestly when I started realizing that the community that was there and the ones that were there earlier, like, how can we help? Can we help get things started? They were really owning that event. Yeah. So that's an interesting thing. I'm trying to process what all that really means, but if nothing else, there's some ownership.
Right.
And they like that we're doing that. So.
Yeah, that was really neat. I had some people come up to ask me if they could help, and it's like, with the tech stuff, didn't want them to get involved in that. So it's like, see the guy over there in the black hat in the lecture? And they went to you, evidently.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. One thing is like, we're just not ready. But everybody understood because we weren't ready because of the rain.
Yes.
And they were just happy we were still doing it.
We got set up real quick. I think our
really
start
impressed
time was
with you guys.
7:30 and it was maybe 7:40. But we didn't make the call till after 7.
Yeah.
So
Yes, a little bit.
we really did.
like
I
that.
think we worked together very well, y'all.
Yeah, I was very, very proud of everyone. Very nice Compass Church moment, I thought, on Friday night. We were all working together. We weren't laughing like we were when we were rained out,
Yeah.
but we were working together and making it happen. And Jake, I remember, did someone ask you to go over there and take care of those hot dogs?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
stuff
I
like
asked
that.
Bob, I was
Yeah.
like, hey, can I start
Can
doing
I?
this?
But that's
He
the
goes,
thing.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes. Just that you were ready and just jumped in and did that. I think I mentioned it to you even that night. But we did. We gave out all of our stuff pretty much. All the extra food that we didn't promote. All the hot dogs are gone.
Yeah.
All the chips were gone.
All the chips were gone. All the
Drinks
sodas
were gone.
and the waters. Everything.
Yeah.
Even the Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
So it was all gone.
Even the gross stuff was
Even the
Yeah.
stuff was gone. They were thirsty people. So that was all really, really cool. A lot of very cool things were happening that night.
It was breezy, and then we had to stand up
Even
there.
more
Yeah.
stars for you guys.
Yeah, we took turns.
We all rotated in and out.
holding
Holding the
screen up.
screen.
Yeah.
Talking to Jake.
wind.
Jake and I were back there talking
was
about
nice. Yeah, it
a
was
metal
kinda
frame for.
Yeah, so we have,
you know.
there are plans in the works for a sturdier
Yes.
movie screen for next year. So it'll be a little heavier,
Oh,
but
I bet.
it won't tip over in a high breeze, so that'll be all right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Too. Now, one thing about if it could work with the inflated deal, that would probably be best because of the.
Good. I bet.
Easy enough to just make stands on the sides that you could hook the tops of the inflatable thing to, and then
There you
it
go.
just holds it up no matter what.
Yeah.
I was
we
saying,
can do that. That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was talking to Bob about that.
Yeah.
Part of the look of the screen, it just makes it a bigger
Yeah.
thing. Our very first movie night ever, we actually used the poles
Yeah.
and a screen across it, and we had wires and things all holding it together. But there was something about it that made, even though the screen was about the same size, it looked smaller. And even so, the inflatable one has the
The bolt.
this much of
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So it looks a
50%
little
of
more
it's
like an
blow-ups.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah. But yeah, we shouldn't have to stand there. It's mostly just the wind that's causing that issue. But I mean, it's sturdy. It's just the wind. Well, what else about that night?
It's just good to do something with the people in the community.
Yeah, and it sort of made 3 movie nights really, because
Yeah.
the one before they got rained out truly was an event. The only thing that was rained out was the movie. We'd
That's
been there
right.
for an hour.
That's right.
And that was kind of cool. And we met a lot of different people. And again, what we're seeing too is now not every church understands this truly. And I can say this from great experience. The work that goes into genuinely trying to reach people. It's like this much work, you might reach this many people. I wish it was just like a magic way. Oh, if you would just do this, that magic trick of outreach or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, all of that stuff, regardless of our stomach growling.
I heard that from here.
I get it. But the point of the outreach, and I learned this many years ago. My first church planting experience, we did tons of service stuff in the community.
Yeah.
And there was always some expectation that most of them would be there the next day, right, for Sunday.
Right.
And we would do a lot of those, and the bummer, of them not having that. We would have some, but it was so frustrating that I began to realize that part of what we were doing wasn't just, it had a twofold purpose, right? One is we certainly are trying to reach people and share the gospel and create, tear down boundaries so that we have opportunities to share the gospel, which is what movie night is kind of about. But it's also about us learning to work together, serve together. We grow closer. Fellowship actually happens through serving together. We're also changing our mindset about people. right? So there's so many good things about us getting out there and just giving it a go, right? Working together, serving together, building community in the community. Even if it doesn't have giant,
returns.
Yeah, returns of tons of people showing up.
I think it ties into the message. We're supposed to go out and, go out and, preach to people, I guess, proselytize. And we don't necessarily do that at these events, though they know it's put on by the church.
Yes.
There's the little video that we play beforehand, which there's nothing preachy in it or anything, but it is, an example of, I don't know if you want to, it's not really an advertisement, but just to let people know that there is a church doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
It's okay to advertise.
It's an advertisement of sorts.
Yeah, but it's up to them whether or not, but yeah, I mean, we do what we're supposed to do, and that's
it's good advertising.
to do things for people, right? And in the name of Jesus, and we do that.
Yes.
So.
And we have great conversations. I mean, most of the events like this that we do, there's somebody we've had some conversations with. I think, even in this one, or it was the one before?
The one before I did, yeah.
And it was about our church, and now someone will say, I've been thinking about coming to your church. I mean, I know some people psychologically will just say nice things because you're doing something nice for them. But I know this to be true. I know that sometimes it takes a long time before that person finally gets up the courage and comes to church.
Sure.
They've been thinking about it for a long time. They want to. If I ever go to church, I'm going to that one. That kind of thing. That takes time.
My neighbors, it's exactly that.
Yes.
So I've been fostering that relationship, and in a fun way. I've really enjoyed building that friendship with Brianna and everything for the last 2.5 years, but because she's come to our movie nights, our Glow and Goes, and she was finally very open to coming to like an Easter service, and although she didn't hear you preach because she was back with the crafts, she got to find out how cool those folks are, and then when she came out last time to preach, she's been there.
She came out to preach?
Sorry.
Listen to hear me preach.
You let anybody speak.
Brain. Come on down to Spider Mouse.
Come on over.
Oh, the Spider Mouse.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
I just sounded funny.
good call. Yeah. So when she came out to hear me preach, preach what?
We know.
So she's been back almost every time. So really enjoyed.
I wonder if she watches the podcast. Has ever seen the podcast?
I don't know. I'll have to let her know it's on there.
Well, I was talking.
Glad you are.
Yeah. I hope you see it. It's Brianna. Aubrey's the
daughter.
The daughter, and I told her yesterday before service started. I said, I tell them, it's good to see y'all again, and I told her, I said, I really, and you know what I enjoy about you being here, and she's like, what? And I said, last week I was watching you while we were up doing the music. And you were just singing along with us, and that just was.
Yeah, she has favorite songs now.
Yeah,
starts with Twisting.
And I just thought that was the coolest thing, and Brianna was like, "Oh, that's really nice."
But it's that slow cooker relationship, the situation going on, and exactly, bringing in that impact on one-off events to make sure that people actually know who we are and when they come back, they see that we actually are those people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a facade. It's a real deal. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, an example of that, with Harper being watched by Kathy and you guys. I mean, she was 11 months old when you guys started watching her.
Yeah.
Just it was, every once in a while there's comments, hey, come join us. We're having big Sunday or a church on the green or whatever else. And a little less than 2 years later, I decided to come back to church and walk through the door, and I'm so glad.
Sir.
And
we are too, man. Yeah, you are, man.
Yeah.
You're more in than you ever probably thought you would be.
I love it. Well, and I was talking with my folks about it. It's like, why? I guess the problem with big churches is even if you want to be involved, it's kind of hard to be involved sometimes because there's already 50 people that are going to volunteer, right? But it's like, if you're gonna go, like, I don't want to just fill a seat. I want to if you want to be committed to a church, help out, volunteer, do the things that take you out of your comfort zone, and all of a sudden you realize that you build these crazy, awesome relationships with the people in the church. Yeah. You learn about yourself. You learn, you build your relationship with Christ, and you feel just like awesome about doing it. And then then you just wanted to continue and do more things and have more experiences with it. And like being being involved at that extra level is it's awesome.
It's in your blood.
Now I know that I have very good friends who are pastors of very big churches. And what you just said is almost like a dagger in there, because they want so much for nobody to just come in and just sit, even in the bigger church. And they would say the same thing. They would say you need to get involved, plug in, don't just come in and just sit. But again, I talked a little bit about that yesterday in terms of us in particular. I don't think it's necessarily for every church in the world, but I just feel like for our church and what God's called, at least the vision He's put in my heart, is that we are not always a tiny church. I don't want that, because I don't think
we're not too big. Right?
Well, the thing is, rather than growing a giant, thing right there and building a big honking building or whatever, instead, listen. Okay, I don't know what that number is. Honestly, it's like, well, is it 100? Is it 200? Is it 300 people? Mm-hmm. But somewhere in there where we still can do and be and thrive and feel the relational situation going on, and no one feels like it's so big they don't know anybody. Mm-hmm. That we start new ones, right? Mm-hmm. And if not new, brand new churches, completely new churches, where we send people from our church that go help get it started, and maybe come back, or maybe they don't. Or we do, different connection points in our community where we start some things and people can enter in there and then maybe join us on Sunday. There's so many possibilities. So, will we have a building? Yeah, I think that we're going to have a building. Will it be like our normal building? Probably not. I think I've thrown this idea. Now we're back to nuts and bolts, and you guys know what that means, right?
Yeah.
It means I'm not making any promises. No. This isn't canon. This is dream time for a minute.
But it is recorded.
Envision having What If Compass Church one day, instead of just say we're going to have this big, beautiful auditorium. Instead, we're going to build a shopping center. Not for shopping, but part of it is for our meeting space. Mm-hmm. That also during the week is a childcare and coffee shop deal, but we worship there together on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then we have 7 or 8 other things, but we built it and we rent it out, and it helps pay for the whole thing, right? And is something that blesses the community as well. Yeah. So that kind of thinking is the kind of thinking that I feel like that we should have, right? So we're still worshiping, but we're also we don't have a big building that's empty all week until we come back to it.
Right.
That we're still paying on millions of dollars. Yeah. And you guys would be surprised. Maybe you wouldn't actually, but a typical church building. And I told Bob this one time. In Texas, we had what we call a gymatorium. Yeah. So we converted, we were worship space, but then it was also a gym. But that building, built in the 70s, updated again in the 80s, updated again in the 90s, and this piecemeal thing. The monthly utility bill was like $25,000 to $30,000.
Oh, wow.
A month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's a major burden on us, and it's the kind of burden I wouldn't want to put on us that we could be instead pouring into not just one movie night, but 10 movie nights all across Aurora, or
Right.
Anyway, little dream talk here on the podcast. Dream talk. Nuts and bolts.
Coming at you live.
Coming at you. All right, so speaking of dreaming, let's talk about Sunday. Because I feel like that was just a bad dream in some ways for me.
How's that?
But not really.
Well, why is that? Was it that first song that threw you off?
Hey, I said this about you being a fantastic drummer, and I mean it. No. Because no matter what I do, Tracy, he rolls with it. Just keep going, just keep at it. In fact, nobody would probably ever know if I don't laugh and say something after the song.
Except
Jake would have.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of like performing, though, especially people that don't know the music or songs or the arrangement necessarily. Is if you make a mistake, nobody knows.
Yeah.
You know, just hey, no, that was planned. That was part of it.
What's even more fun is when you make a mistake, but you turn it into a ta-da, which is what happened. It was very different than we rehearsed it in a place or two.
And that's
my
okay.
goodness. Yeah, so we went back, so I do apologize for the abrupt ending to Fool's Gold.
Oh.
I looked at the calendar.
It's like one of those, we're going to wrap up Fool's Gold. Done!
It's done. Well, I sort of hinted at it kiddingly the week before. I said, oh, we can just wrap this up here? And then I realized, oh, it is kind of wrapped up. And I also realized that, and this is the first time, it's pretty hard for me here because I am doing what you guys have heard a billion times, but you need to hear again. And I'm trying to freshen it up, but I don't think I freshened it up well enough on Sunday. But that's up to you guys to talk about. But anyhow, that 3 Sundays,
Yep.
back to the basics,
Yep.
is a 3 Sunday message.
Is it? Because you didn't get through more.
Well, but here's the thing. Anybody, if you go to our website and you click on About,
Yeah.
all that whole series, one of the times I've done it, it's all there. You can watch the whole thing, and I go through all of those things, even in more detail. This is just a simple refresher.
Yeah.
What might be shocking to you guys to know is that I have done the whole More, Stronger, Closer teaching in one message before. I can't believe it either.
It was a full day
How
of
long
church
was
right
that?
there.
All day singing and dinner on the ground, so I just kept going. No. So, but
Bring your lunch.
bring your lunch. Because the last time I went through those, More was at least 2 messages. Mm-hmm. And same for Stronger and for Closer. Mm-hmm. And there might have even been a whole extra one about following Jesus. So this is a micro version of that. But it's perfect time for us to
Yeah,
know
I like
these
it.
things as we get ready to go into the fall. Mm-hmm. Because, so that was message 1, this coming Sunday's message 2. And no kidding, the hardest one really to combine is going to be Closer, because it's really 2. Closer to God and closer to each other.
Right.
I'm not going to give either one of those the justice that they really deserve, but it'll be enough to communicate it.
Right.
And in the middle of that, so 1 and 2, then there's Gospel of Mark, because we've got Big Sunday.
Yeah.
And then one more, and I think you're going to miss that one. When we're talking about Closer, you're going to be far away.
Oh, yeah, because that's Labor Day weekend, isn't it?
Yep.
Ah, yeah.
And then the following Sunday is fall kickoff, and that is when, it just seems like yesterday, we'll be in 2 Thessalonians.
Okay.
The 2nd Thessalonians.
The second of Thessalonians.
Part 2.
So we did Anchored, and then we did Steadfast, and that series is called Onward.
Onward. I
Onward.
like it.
And then the 4th one is called, I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, but we will be done with all, and there's some more. That's not all we're doing in the fall, but that's the opener. That's the kickoff.
Cool.
All right.
This might be surprising, but we're coming up on.
Okay, about time.
Sorry, I wanted to mention that just to.
Yeah, okay.
Into the right.
Well, what else? What else is going on? Things you guys have heard? Good things? Anything we want to talk about? Podcasting?
Oh, those leaves with the inchworms were.
Those were so
really
much
cool.
fun.
The
Wasn't
kids'
that
craft
great?
was really cool.
Super cute.
I loved it too. Yeah, that was. It's funny because usually I'm the one that's finding all of those and putting that together.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows that, but yeah. So our kids ministry stuff, I'm usually writing them together. So that is a craft I actually found on Instagram of all things.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I think it's
for something.
Oh, there's some very good things on
Yeah,
Instagram.
sure there is.
I believe it's like a different place than Facebook, even though they're owned by the same. It is a very different kind of deal.
Yeah.
Now there's trouble everywhere, so there are no safe places out in the world. But yeah. I mean, it's where it's like I heard a guy say something the other day. It says, they were on TikTok. Now I'm not on TikTok right now, but I'm familiar with what's going on with TikTok. And it's important to know what is happening and how technology is being used. But there were some guys who were saying, I go on TikTok and all it shows me is dancing girls. And here's what's embarrassing about that, is that the algorithms of these things show you what you like and what you've been doing. So the reason it's showing you that is because that's what you've been looking at. All right, on that happy and convicting note, I will say. Anyhow, but this was the site is just like a kid's craft thing, and it was somewhere in Asia even, so just like not what you would normally see, just in random stuff. It was very cool.
Now it's flashing low.
Not flashing low. That's all right, so am I.
So to end on a high note, we can go with John 3:16.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Who wants to say it tonight? Let's say you've been saying it most often. You're our John 3:16 guy now.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. You want to give it a go?
John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life.
That is
John
correct.
3:16.
John 3:16. All right, rock on. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Great reminder. I always feel like I should preach after you read John 3:16. But I'm not gonna. All right. Anything else before we head to our final words? Seems like there's tons of stuff going on. I can't. Think of any.
Well,
We don't have time to get into garden stuff.
Oh yes, the garden.
That's okay.
And the fall kickoff.
Yeah.
And
all that stuff coming
the bring the food day, and oh my goodness.
Come back next week from
And harvest
That's right.
every week, and
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep getting better too, because there's still plenty of stuff in the ground. And there's
it's
still
just,
plenty of onions
it's
in the
just
ground.
producing
and just,
stuff.
Nice.
So
good.
great, so great. I love every Sunday we get there and there's like vegetables everywhere from the garden. So come this Sunday, you see some vegetables on the table, they're for you.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, all right, well then it'll just simply say, you know what, we meet somewhere in the world every week, but always online. You can find us on Facebook by searching for Compass Church Colorado, and you can discover more at compassdenver.com. We'd love to have you as our guest this Sunday. All right, guys, final words.
Love you guys. Love everyone out there.
Likewise.
This has been great.
Grace to you and peace. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Cheers.
Goodbye to chairs. Wait, cheers. What?
I'm empty.